How's it going, guys? Levi Steele here from Steele Muay Thai. This is tip number 2, a continuation from our video the other day about listening. Those tips again were listening and asking better questions. So again, these are so valuable, guys, because they require minimal effort and you can action them immediately. Even if you don't have somebody to ask a question to, you can formulate a question for when you get the opportunity to ask one. So we'll keep it short, but basically run through some tips on how you can ask better questions. But first of all, let's just start off with why even ask a better question. Fairly obvious that you're going to ask a better question so you can get a better answer. Gives yourself an opportunity to listen, you gain more knowledge and understanding, and then you cycle around and you do it all over again with a better question, and then you grow. But one of the biggest reasons I like to ask better questions is because it grows the room. Sometimes you might ask your coach or something, such a good question that you see them like spark up and get energetic as they start to answer it, because you've given them the opportunity to explain something that they didn't know that they knew. Now, when you get this type of scenario, not only are you growing your own knowledge, but you're also growing theirs. You ever been in like a brainstorming session or something and then everyone's kind of plateaued and someone says something good and it just sparks everybody up and they start thinking and it just gives everyone food for thought? They're just opening the floodgates to thought. It's so powerful, guys, asking a better question. It's like throwing a seed but growing 10 trees. Grow the room, guys. Ask better questions. So that's why we're here. So here's 3 tips on how you can do it better. Start by asking open-ended questions. What, why, where, how, these types of things. When I worked back as an apprentice butcher, I started in Woolworths and they taught me to say anything else at the end of a transaction with a customer. I then went on to work in a private butcher shop and the manager said to me, when you ask anything else at the end of the transaction, you're incentivizing the customer to say yes or no, which closes down the transaction. Instead, ask them, what else can I get for you? Now, because this is an open-ended question, it opens the floodgates to thought. You would almost always see the customer get stumped for a second as they thought about what else they needed. Such a powerful sales technique as well. And I actually seen my customer service got so much better after that. And you far more less robotic when you do it. So ask open-ended question, guys. Next one, ask questions that last. Now, what I mean by that, this is specifically a training thing. Ask questions that are going to last you a long time. You're going to get a lot out of them. Right? So a good way to do this, firstly, is by avoiding definitive answers. Things that are like yes or no, or the color is blue, or whatever it is. If they got an answer just like that, that's a definitive answer, and you don't get much growth from that. Whereas if you were to ask something about a principle, something that's ongoing, maybe distance management, or what's the objective here, or maybe whatever it is, right? And you apply that thing for a long time, this is a lot better for you. Like if you ever worked with someone that comes up to you and they go, I've done this, what do I do now? Now I've done that, what do I do now? And they keep doing it. Like imagine if you were in front of your boss with a hammer and a nail and you hammered in one nail and said, do you want me to nail another nail? Hammer it in. Do you want me to nail another nail? How long would you do that for before you go, how many nails would you like me to hammer in? That's a slightly better question that's going to give you food for thought for longer. You can just start nailing for a little while. And you set on a task. You might go, is my objective here to nail all these skirtings in? What the hell am I? Are we builders? What are we supposed to be doing? When are we going to be done by? Like, give yourself this thing that's going to actually set you on a proper path. Definitive answers don't do that. They close you down. So, yeah. Questions that last, guys. Ask things about principles. This is also important too. I'm a firm believer in giving people open-ended answers as well, because it does open the floodgates of thought. one thing that's difficult for me to coach is when people want exact answers for exact things. So someone might come up and go, oh, I saw this on Instagram, would you do that or not? It's like, how long's a piece of string? And I normally answer with, it depends, because what size are they? Are they in the ring? Are they in the corner? Are they bigger than them? What's their style? All these things matter. You'll do things with one but not another, like, all these type of things, right? So I try to get people to think open-ended like this, because if you go into a fight and you ask the question of like, oh, what do I do when he does this? And then the whole fight, you spend your time down the narrow parameters of that technique and you're looking for that to happen, almost like you're holding the perfect puzzle piece. But then the guy never teeps, or he never throws the thing that you were waiting for, and then you just have this fight where you were stuck in this parameter. This is a massive thing, guys. I remember coaching my partner in jiu-jitsu comps, and people would come up and give her tips when we were training for it. And they'd say things like, oh, when they get you in an armbar, do this. When they get you in this, do that. And I ended up saying, look, again, how long's a piece of string? Nobody knows what's going to happen. Some of them jiu-jitsu comps didn't even know who you're versing on the day. And so I came up with something. It was like base, progression, and connection. So it was like, get your base, progress, and get some connection, and just keep progressing, and just keep those things. And when this was executed perfectly, she actually had 5 back-to-back rolls that day and 1 gold on all of them, even in an open weight. Whereas there's been days where she kind of feared an armbar or something like that, and then you end up getting stuck in the narrow parameters of thinking about that one thing, and you get taken with something else, or sometimes even ironically taken with the thing you feared. So asking questions that last, asking questions, things about principles is going to get you a lot further, guys, than just getting those little definitive answers that just shut the thought down. Last one, question your own questions. Now, before you ask the question, sit there and think to yourself, is this going to give me a definitive answer? How can I ask this question? Like, you're literally going to go through what we're doing and ask yourself the best possible question you can, so you can ask the best possible question that you can. You're going to ask yourself, is this going to give me a definitive answer? Is it, how can I ask it in a way that's open-ended? Sometimes you kind of know what the answer is going to be, so you have to reformulate the way you're saying it. Maybe use open-ended questions, or to get people thinking or explaining things. In my past, I've had some impeccable coaches, and especially something that is deep like jiu-jitsu, and they don't coach much. Maybe they're not the best coach, but it doesn't mean they're not knowledgeable. And when you ask them the right question, or you ask them the question in a way that allows them to express, then you get a friggin' good answer. And I've actually gotten to some of the best points. I've had some of the most game-changing advice from people that actually might not be the best coach, or they might appear as they don't know, or even, and then you formulate the question differently, and then you're like, okay, bang, and then you just crack the shell, and they just start going. So yeah, guys, really important. You want to ask better questions, grow your coach, grow everyone in the room, open-ended questions, avoid those definitive answers. Obviously there's a time and a place for yes or no's and exact answers. But you want food for thought. Give yourself something, a question that's going to make you run for a long time, not just end it right there. That's it, guys. Enjoy, and like and subscribe.